Today I'm going to show you how to make this decadent shrimp stuffed shells. The shells are stuffed with creamy ricotta and shrimp topped with an Alfredo sauce. It could not be easier, but it is so good. And this is inspired by shrimp stuffed shells that my husband made. It had a sun-dried tomato sauce. Mine is a little bit different and has an Alfredo sauce, but it is just as good. Now I'm going to get started on the pasta. Now on my stove over high heat, I have a pot of water which I've bring to a boil. I'm going to generously salt it, then I'm going to add the shells, and I am using the jumbo shells. You need to use the jumbo shells because this is going to be easy to stuff. Then I'm going to give it a stir, and this ensures that the pasta doesn't stick together or to the pot. And I'm going to let this cook just until al dente. You don't want to cook it all the way through because it will continue to cook in the oven. Now I have small white shrimp which is peeled and deveined. To that I've added crushed garlic and salt. I've also added red pepper flakes and dried oregano. And if you can't find shrimp this size, you can simply use the larger shrimp and just coarsely chop it. And if shrimp is not your jam, you can even use crab meat in place of the shrimp, or you can do a combination of both. Now that the shrimp is coated with the seasoning, set it aside. Then it's time to strain the pasta. While the pasta drains, it's time to saute the shrimp. To my pot, I'm adding olive oil, and once the oil is hot, I'm going to add the shrimp. Saute the shrimp on high heat for about 2 to 3 minutes, but you don't want to cook it all the way through because again, it's going to continue to cook when we place it into the oven. And if you're interested in making this recipe, I will have it linked below in the description box, or you can head over to my website, giancancook.com. Now once the shrimp has cooked for a few minutes, it's going to begin to release all of that liquid, and that's just fine. I am going to take the shrimp out of the liquid and I'm going to set it aside because again, I do not want to overcook the shrimp. You don't want rubbery shrimp. So I'm going to place the shrimp into the bowl and I'm just going to continue to cook the liquid and allow it to reduce. I don't want to lose all of that flavor that is in that liquid. To brighten up the dish with a fresh herb flavor, I'm going to add parsley, which I'm going to finely chop. Once that's done, I'm going to set it aside and then check on the liquid. And you see it's reduced, it's thick. This is what you're looking for. And I'm just going to add this back to the shrimp because there's a lot of flavor in that liquid. And I'm just going to mix it all together because I want to make sure that the shrimp is nicely coated with all of that flavor. Now that the shrimp is cooked, it's time to assemble the filling. To my bowl, I've added ricotta cheese and I'm also adding an egg, and the egg is going to act as a binder for the filling. And this is a very, very simple recipe. It's not too complicated. As you can see, the filling is just the ricotta cheese, the egg, the shrimp that we cooked. We're also going to add some of that freshly chopped parsley and then just mix it all together. And as simple as this looks, it is really, really good. I'm a firm believer that good food doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to involve a million ingredients. It just has to be done the right way. And now it's time to assemble. To the bottom of my baking dish, I am adding Alfredo sauce. You can use store-bought or homemade Alfredo sauce. I actually bought mine from the store, but I bought it from the farmer's market where it is made from scratch daily, just the same way as I would make it at home with butter, cream, Parmesan cheese, and fresh garlic. And now it's time to stuff the shells. I am just going to hold it open so it's easy to get that filling on the inside. And you want to put about 2 heaping tablespoons of the filling. Be generous. You want to make sure that the shells are nicely filled. Now once you fill the shells, you're going to place it into that baking dish with the Alfredo sauce at the bottom. Repeat the process until you've used all of the ricotta shrimp stuffing. Next, spoon the Alfredo sauce over the shells. As the pasta bakes, the Alfredo sauce is going to seep into that filling and also around the pasta shells, and it's going to make it so moist, keep the pasta from drying out, and add a ton of flavor. Top it with freshly grated Parmesan cheese and then place it into the oven. Bake it for approximately 30 to 35 minutes, just until it's nice and bubbly and golden brown, and that Parmesan cheese is going to form a nice crust. To finish it off, just sprinkle some freshly chopped parsley and it's ready to serve. And I cannot begin to tell you how delicious this is. The shrimp is still going to be tender. It's not going to be rubbery because remember, we did not overcook it. And the creamy Alfredo sauce and ricotta cheese gives it so much flavor. Thank you guys for joining me once again. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do try this recipe, share it with me on Instagram at @GNCanCook. And be sure to leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.